Almost 3 months have passed since the conflict began between Israel and the Hamas movement. And summing up, even Western experts concluded that the Israel Defense Forces are unable to win in this conflict, since Israel is not fighting with a regular army but with a community of highly motivated Muslims who are spread throughout the region and even the world. It is impossible to destroy such a community with the help of a military operation. In such circumstances, the only way to get rid of this community is to organize a mass genocide of Gazans. The forcible expulsion of almost 3 million Muslims from their homes and homelands. At the same time, it is worth noting that Tel Aviv is unlikely to decide on such a move, since the Israeli leadership is well aware that this will put them on a par with the war criminals of Nazi Germany. However, judging by the articles of many analysts and public polls in many countries of the world, people already consider the Israeli leadership to be war criminals, since the actions of the Israel Defense Forces in the Gaza Strip have already led to the deaths of almost 20,000 civilians, including women and children. At the same time, the Israel Defense Forces were not even able to inflict significant damage on Hamas, suffering heavy losses in manpower and heavy equipment. Military experts have noticed that Hamas publishes numerous videos almost every day showing footage of the destruction of Israeli tanks and other heavy equipment. While the Israel Defense Forces does not even have one video showing the successful destruction of the Hamas militant group. At the same time, even US think tanks recognize the fact that at this rate, Israel will be able to conduct military operations for no more than 5 months, since Israel's resources have already been practically exhausted. And this is taking into account the fact that Hezbollah and Yemen's Houthi have not yet entered into direct clashes with the Israel Defense Forces. Experts are confident that in the event of an attack on Israel by outside forces, Israel's army will not be able to provide effective resistance. Well, my friends, the Israeli Prime Minister and his team don't seem to learn from their mistakes. It seems that Benjamin Netanyahu is absolutely confident that the United States will continue to provide financial and military assistance to Israel, no matter what. That is why Tel Aviv made the fatal mistake of declaring on December 1st the termination of the 7-day truce with Hamas, and began bombing the Gaza Strip again. To be honest, I thought that Benjamin Netanyahu would show his wisdom and use the temporary truce to get out of this conflict without losing face, signing the necessary agreements between Israel and Palestinians, mutually acceptable to both parties. However, instead of saving Israel from a humiliating defeat, Benjamin Netanyahu continued to make inadequate statements, endangering the existence of the Jewish state. In particular, the Israeli Prime Minister stated that the main goal of the Israel Defense Forces is the complete destruction of Hamas. This statement by the Israeli Prime Minister caused shock even among the leaders of Western countries. Even the French president could not hide his bewilderment, saying that it would take Israel 10 years to destroy Hamas. At the same time, it should be understood that Israel and even the United States have no time to start the process of Hamas destruction for 10 years. The fact is that the world is currently undergoing a process of transition from a unipolar system to a multipolar one, where the influence of the United States will be completely lost. By its actions, Israel has actually dragged Washington into the conflict in the Middle East, as a result of which, the Americans will spend enormous resources on Israel, losing their influence not only in the region, but also in the world. However, sooner or later, Washington will be forced to stop financing Israel, as the new multipolar world will force the United States to throw its last strength at creating an Anglo-Saxon macro-region, in order to maintain its influence at least among Western countries. As a result, Israel will not be able to find a place in the new multipolar world, since for 75 years the Jewish state existed solely thanks to the unipolar system, under the wing of the United States, which provided Tel Aviv with military and financial assistance, helping Israel literally survive surrounded by enemies. The current conflict in the Middle East will only accelerate the weakening of the United States, as a result of which Israel may eventually lose not only its statehood, but also all the lands that were transferred to the Jews in 1948.